What's up, everyone? Welcome to a special episode of Horror with Nadia. I'm the host, Nadia, of the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Please do me a favor, hit that like button. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel. And if you do so, please share out the stream. If you're watching this on replay, do me a favor as well. Please leave me a comment for the algorithm gods. Let me know if you've seen this, if you like the Final Destination franchise, all that kind of stuff. So leave me a comment below. I know I have been MIA for the last few days, couple cancellation streams. I am doing way better. So we should be back on track. That being said, I see you, Corey. I'll get to you in a second. I made a calendar, and I think this would be going forward. What I'm going to do monthly is make a calendar just to remind you guys like where I'm at. I'll always have this posted either on Twitter, the YouTube community page, Discord. So today, obviously, we're talking Final Destination. Tomorrow is the 1-year celebration of the channel. I made it a year. Yay! So I've got a full panel. We're going to be doing a pretty cool horror game that I put together, some horror news. Hopefully we'll have the Welcome to Derry trailer to check out, and hopefully my internet doesn't crash out. Wednesday will be the members chat for this month, so we'll go live around 7 p.m. Eastern just to chat with the members. Maybe we'll talk about some horror news that we just don't cover on Tuesday. Thursday will be The Last of Us episode 6. I think, yeah. Last of Us episode 6 from season 2 discussion. Friday, we are back finally with Stranger Things. I know I apologize for last week having to cancel that, but we will be back with season 3, episode 1 and 2. Nick and I are working on something to set a goal for, so there'll be more on that channel. And then the following Tuesday on the 27th is Final Girls episode 1. I've got a great panel of 6 content creators that are women that are in the horror genre of YouTube. They'll be joining me. We'll be sharing what we intaked for May. It doesn't have to be May releases, but what we really liked, what we watched, read, played in May, and then what we're looking forward to in June. It's going to be like a roundtable discussion with a bunch of really awesome ladies, so they will be there with us. And then we're back with Last of Us, the season finale on the 29th, and then Stranger Things continues on the 30th, and then the members watch party, which was voted for Megan, will be on the 31st. So a lot of cool, fun things coming along. Next month, I will have June's. I probably, honestly, the 27th, I'll have June's calendar up. So that way, because I'm traveling in June, so you guys will know when I'm available and live. And hopefully maybe we'll sneak in a couple off ones, but we'll see. I kind of like the idea of streaming randomly on Mondays if I go see a movie on Sundays, since Sunday is my movie going day at the theater. So we'll see. We'll see. So I want to say hi to everybody in the chat. And Rachel, welcome, girl. Hello, Hook. Yes, you caught it at the start. Toxic, I am feeling much better. Thank you for asking. Cajun, I know. Oh boy, do I got a story. DN9 Gamer, Cinevere's Fish. Hello. Trump Daddy's in here as well. Castellar, Danielle Garcia. What's up? Loved part 6. Okay, cool. Very cool. I think that's everybody. Oh, Thunder Ducky. Hello. Love this movie. Yes, I got your comments on my community page on it. Boy, am I about to disappoint you. So let me hold on one second. Let me I don't know what the word is, but let me set the stage for everybody who don't know. The Final Destination franchise as a whole, I do not like. I'm not a fan. And it's not that I don't like it because I think they're poorly made or there's something wrong with them. It's just they're my Achilles heel of horror, right? I don't find it entertaining to watch creative ways of how people can die. I know it's a little bit of a hypocrite because I like slashers, but to me, slashers are fun because you're trying to figure out the whodunit or the lore behind why they're doing it and such. Final Destination is just like, let's see how crazy we can kill somebody off. All right. I've only seen the first 2 in this one. I have never seen 3, 4, and 5. I know the premises of 3, 4, and 5. I watched a recap video by Recap and Chill. That's a great channel. If you guys don't know, he does awesome work recapping series and such. Mostly because I'll tell you right now, unless someone pays me to do it, I'm not sitting through any more Final Destination movies. Uh, I also thought the first two had, I don't want to say a more realistic style to the deaths, where this one is just bonkers, man. And apparently there was one missing, so it was a little crazy. Well, in Final Destination, similar concept, just trying to figure out how people are going to die. Yeah, so like I don't like that. I don't like Faces of Death. I don't. It's just it gets under my nails. I like just like it's like a pin under the nails. It just irks me. It's my Achilles heel. That's okay. Yeah. So I went in and I did see this movie in 4DX. I was unable to record myself in 4DX. I promised that I would record myself if the theater was empty. Honestly, it was a sold out theater. I was very fucking surprised that on a mid-afternoon Sunday. And before we get into it, two things. Theater etiquette, folks. And I know the lovely people here joining me in this chat would never do this. But please don't take your phone out and record the screen for likes on social media. I had to tell a dude twice to put his phone away because even if you think your phone is completely dimmed because of the darkness of the theater, your phone is still like a source of light and it's a distraction. You're not cool by capturing a clip of a movie and posting it on TikTok. I'm sorry, you're not. You're a douche. You're pretty much a douchebag on that. So please don't do that. Please don't do that. But and the second thing is I watched the first 10 15 minutes of the first like major big scene death, and we're gonna get into spoilers. So in case you don't want spoilers for Final Destination, we're gonna get into spoilers. A whole family of like 6 people showed up like 20 minutes into the movie. I mean, at that point, why not just catch the next showing? But I digress. I love urban legend and my Bloody Valentine. I actually was thinking maybe summertime doing a tier stream of or 90s, 2000s horror of like urban legend. There's a bunch of them that I listed off. Let's see. What did I list off? Like movies that are nostalgia to me, that like are my childhood. Like, these are the movies I shouldn't have seen, but I said The Faculty, Disturbing Behavior, Idle Hands, Teaching Mrs. Tingle, Final Destination, Cherry Falls, Scary Movie, Valentine, Jeepers Creepers, Swim Fan, Wrong Turn. Like some of these are really bad, but some of these are really good. But they're bad good. I had people with their phones talking to each other throughout the movie. Moved down. I don't understand why people have to be on their. Just wait for it to hit digital then, and just watch it at home. Why you gotta ruin everybody else's movie going experience? Happy 1 year anniversary. Thank you, Anthony, for being a member for 1 month. Thank you so much. So, okay. Final Destination. Bloodlines. That movie fucks me up, guys. I'm not gonna lie. That movie fucked me up real bad. Real bad. Real bad. So, the premise, if you don't know about this, is plagued by a recurring violent nightmare, a college student returns home to find the one person who can break the cycle and save her family from horrific, fatal death that awaits them. Okay, and we're gonna get into the different kills too. Let me bring up some of the IMDb. So we have a visual. I like visuals. You like visuals. We all like visuals. Let's do visuals. Okay. My oh my. They were very creative with the deaths in this. And I did like the callback at the end. That was pretty cool. But oh my god, this movie fucked me up so bad. I had to like watch something happy when I got home. And I don't know why my internet is acting freaking crazy right now. Okay. So this is the sixth one in the A franchise, which by the way, I read somewhere, let me pull that up as well. I am all over the board, guys. I'm sorry. MRI was Rachel, you saw it too? Oh, Jesus. The MRI. I get yearly MRIs because of my disease. I ain't okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to say. So it sucks. The franchise producer shares honest thoughts on the Final Destination, the 2009 installment. So they actually thought the 2009 installment was going to be it, and it actually they continued with it, and the one in Bloodlines has made a lot of money. I think I saw I think it was like 51 million. I have it somewhere that this is like, yeah. So Final Destination made 10 million, second made 16, third made 20 million, and just the Final Destination, which is the fourth one, uh did because they had just the at the beginning. 27, and then 5 was 18, and then this one so far has made 51 million. I watched the first one and that was it for me. That was it for me too. Hi, Big Ship. What's up, dude? Oh man. So the premise of this, it's which I will say, I do like the fact that this franchise has its own rules to the whole concept. Okay. So rules are as of thus, right? Uh when they whichever movie they have, when they survive the first opening premonition that they have, which is usually the big one. So like there was one at a race car track. I forgot which one that is. The first movie opening up with the plane. I think there's quite a few of them. So once they survive it, death will come to them in the order that they died during that premonition. Okay, so that's rule number one. So it will always circle in that order. So whoever dies first, second last. Second is if you avoid death. So say you die and come back, or somehow you like manage to escape death in some way, it will skip to the next person, but it always circles back. So it's not like, "Oh, you evade death forever." It's just gonna continue down the line until it circles right back. And the third rule is you can take a life, and then what happens is, whatever life that person you have taken, that is added on to yours. So that you there's one there was one of them where, a dude, like, accidentally took a life of someone else. He got life added onto like, tab, but it turned out the guy that he took his life from was, like, waiting for an aneurysm to burst, and death eventually got them. So, it is, so those are the 3 rules of the franchise. Those are the 3 solid rules. Can I say that each movie has followed these rules? I believe the first, second from what I've seen, and the 5th one does too, because it does circle back to it. I don't know so much. I think there's a little bit of continuity issues with one of them in 3, 4, and 5 somewhere, but overall, those are the general rules for this movie. So it opens up with Iris here, and I believe in the 30s or 40s or 50s, one of the back in the day, and she gets this premonition where she is going to dinner with her soon-to-be husband. He's going to propose. She's pregnant also at the time, and they go to this building that just got opened up, and it has a restaurant similar to if ever anybody's ever been to Vegas. It's similar to the Strat here, where it's like one straight elevator up, and then you get like this whole surrounding view of the city, and it's a restaurant that you can eat at and stuff like that. So she sees a premonition of like the glass shattering, people falling to their deaths. There's a fire that happens, all this stuff over the top. And I will give it to this. Final Destination truly said, "Fuck them kids." Because the opening segment has a kid who's throwing a penny constantly over the side, and the penny actually causes a lot of the issues. And when this kid eventually manages to escape, a whole piano falls on this kid. And I'm talking to this kid's like 11, 10, 11. So Final Destination was like, and there was a joke about babies later on. But yeah, Final Destination 7 was like, fuck them kids. I'll probably never watch a single Final Destination movie, but here for moral support. Thank you. So, I thought so too. Young Jennifer Lawrence. And by the way, I thought the older Iris was just her in old person makeup. 2 different actors. Very surprised. I hope this is the end to this franchise. It will not, because it made $51 billion. $1 million, Toxic. They're going to continue. They are going to continue. Death and the penny, a deadly combo. Very much so. So Iris has this premonition. She saves everyone. We fast forward to the present. It's her lineage. It's her kids and grandkids who are now experiencing death coming from them, because death has slowly made its way, and I think there's a photo of it, throughout all the survivors of the big crash issue in the beginning. And now Iris is second to last of the survivors. The last survivor being a child at the time who turns out to be Tony Todd's character, which tell me how Tony Todd looks older than older Iris, but is supposed to be younger. Either way, right? So this this is Iris's granddaughter Stephanie, who's supposed to be in college. She's 28 years old, the actress. She don't look like maybe she's studying for a PhD, but she don't definitely look like a 20-year-old in college. So she's having a recurring nightmare of the premonition that Iris had. Okay. So she goes to meet her grandmother for the first time, finds out the whole thing about death. The whole premise, similar to what all the Final Destination movies are. Death will always come for you in this order. It's coming for survivors. You can't avoid it. So what is happening is that it is going through Iris's tree. So it finally KO'd Iris, which was a cool death. She like barricaded herself for 50 plus years in this cabin, by the way, which had a lot of pointy stuff and flammables all around the property. And because she took her first step outside of the cabin, death got her by having a fire extinguisher be damaged that hit the top of the cabin that had one of those like northeast kind of signs, and it like impaled her through the back of the head, right in front of her granddaughter. Blood all over their face. Kind of cute. So that was Iris gone. Gone on that one. Mind you, I saw this in 40X, so anytime something like impaled or a death happened or something, air shot me in the back of the head, like on the side, and it freaked me out the whole time. I was screaming the whole time. But I will tell you, Scout's honor, I did not hide. I didn't even wear a hoodie. I was like, if I'm going to see this movie, I'm going to see all these deaths, I'm going to be staring straight at the screen. And I had a friend come with me for moral support who was laughing the whole time while I'm here sweating and having like panic attacks because I don't like these movies. So the whole time. She's like trying to give me alcohol too. She bought like a huge Truly and she's like, here, please drink this while you're trying to calm your ass down. So Iris is gone, so it's going to be moving down. Iris had 2 kids, Howard and Darlene. Darlene is Stephanie's mom. Okay, Darlene skipped out on Stephanie and her brother Charlie a while back. Decided to go live a hermit's life, I guess, or something. Howard has 3 children who are all obnoxious. There's Eric, who's the oldest, Julia, who's the second, and Bobby. Okay. All right. Now, those who married into the family, like aunt and uncles, they don't got to worry. That's not coming for them. They're just coming for somebody who is related to Iris. So it has to have the bloodline of Iris. Okay. And it just keeps getting ridiculous as it goes on this. Here's a shot of like the fires and like she gets impaled too. She falls down in her premonition. She falls and then gets impaled. A lot of impaling happening in this one. I don't know if that's a common trait with 3, 4, and 5, but a lot of impaling coming on here. You're 100% right, Daniel. R.I.P. Tony Todd. I had like tears welling up. Almost shed one for him when I saw him on screen. And there's a cool fact about that one. A couple cool posters. Let's get through it. Can I ask a question? For those of you who have seen all of them, and it's been a while since I've seen the first 2, wasn't death an actual like being in a sense, like had a form to itself in a sense? In the first or second one, like there was a ghastly like form to it. There's Iris again. There we go. Tony Todd. Great performance as always. As always. Sushi Girl? Okay, I'm gonna check that one out. The rules in the series have never been constant. So far from 1, 2, and 5. Sorta, yeah, and one of them. Okay, yeah. And then they kind of like discarded that and just decided not to go with that anymore. That's fine. That's completely fine with me on it. It was like a phantom, right? Yeah. Okay, it was the first one. That's what I was remembering. Now they're just getting fucking more ridiculous. So Stephanie's fucking losing her mind, and they all think she's just losing her mind because maybe she's losing her mind because she's influenced by Iris at some point, her grandmother. So the first one is um, Eric. And I think if you've seen the trailer for the tattoo shop incident where the dude gets hooked his nose in a fan and like fire starts, right? That's Eric. However, Eric is not a biological son of Howard. Apparently, the missus was dipping somewhere else. So Eric actually escapes by fine. It was a very, I will say, this overlying story for this is very silly, and I know that most of these don't have like a deep depth story to it. It's more so for the kills and how can you make it more obscure and weird for the death scenes. But holy cow, man! Like, give me a little bit of emotion. So Eric escaped by fine. When Stephanie the next day finds him, she has a premonition of like, says it out loud. Hey, this could fall down here. This fall could hit in. So her premonition actually happens to Julia, who's the second one to die. And how does she die? In a trash like truck, like a garbage truck. She ends up like somehow tripping into a garbage bin that is about to be pulled into the garbage, and then she gets crushed in half while Stephanie's trying to pull her away, and the arm gets like dangling around. So Julia's gone. So Bobby is the last one, and Bobby has a really bad peanut allergy. And now, in the consistency of this, they're now talking about how maybe if one of them dies and comes back, similar to some survivor that Iris found, they could scathe away, right? They can break the chain. They can break the chain and death will be fine. They go to talk to JB, which is Tony Todd's last screen performance, William John Bludworth, who's been in all of them except for one. And I believe another one, he was the voice of the roller coaster one that happened. So, yeah, Tony Todd, Wishmaster, Hatchet 2, Tales from the Hood. People think just Candyman and not realize like he's done a lot of stuff. So what I wanted to bring up was this. Tony Todd's final lines in Final Destination Bloodlines were unscripted. The director asked him to speak directly to the fans. So if that doesn't make you cry even more after seeing him on screen. So I intended to enjoy the time I have left, and I suggest you do the same. Life is precious and enjoy every single second, which we all should. You never know when. Good luck. So I think this was the most heartfelt moment of the movie. Yeah, I don't even think this is pretty much the most heartfelt moment of the movie, of it. But again, because Iris saved JB here as a child. So that was the last you see of him. He walked out. It was great. To be honest, I would recommend this movie if you just wanted to see Tony Todd's last screen appearance on it. Okay. So they decide to go to the hospital because Bobby has a bad peanut allergy. So what they're going to do is have Bobby eat a bunch. Oh, that was ridiculous. Yeah, I'm going to bring that back up. We'll talk about this in a second. Hold on. Let me see if I can find a picture of this, because so ridiculous, these things. So this movie likes to throw you off, right? When they're entering the hospital, you think they're going to get stuck in what is called like what is the revolving door, which actually I come to find out the revolving door was actually something that was supposed to happen. Cut out the death scene that the revolving door would have had. It would have been the one that caused the most daily trauma to the population. That's true. That's true. So they completely cut. This is apparently originally how Darlene was supposed to die. So they cut it out. I think they cut it out just to give you kind of a red herring on it, right? Thinking that it's something that's going to happen. Similar to the snack machine here. What are they called? Vending machine here. So they're trying to pull out some Reese's, like generic Reese's peanut butter for Bobby here to take. And the spring kind of like shoots out, but doesn't shoot out all the way, just enough. And it cracks. So you're thinking, okay, something's going to happen. Aha, it does later on. So Bobby and Eric go into a different room. Eric's like, don't worry, dude, I got you. I'm your brother. I'm going to help you. Puts him in a wheelchair, not realizing the MRI machine behind him has started. And then the MRI machine, which I've never seen, has a researcher mode, so it makes it go even completely higher in strength to the point where, which I don't know if this is realistic, but where the nurse down the hall has stuff like starting to pull down the hall towards it. Obviously, I think overblown for the movie, but I get yearly MRIs. I have to have yearly MRIs. It's required for me to have it just to check my spine and stuff. And holy it it goes to, like, the highest amount and the wheelchair. So, here's the MRI. Here's Eric standing in front of it. Here's the wheelchair behind Eric. Eric, who's completely pierced from not only nose, ears, nipples, but also a Prince Albert, gets pulled to the MRI machine. The wheelchair gets pulled behind him and basically does a, like, sandwich front forward with the bars of, like, the wheelchair poking through him and, like, sucks him into the MRI. Well, poor Bobby is, like, going into shock because he doesn't have his EpiPen. He has to crawl over to his dead brother, grab the EpiPen from his dead brother, hit him in the leg. He thinks he's all fine and dandy until the nurse opens up the door and the vending machine, which is directly in eyesight, that spring comes forward and takes out his head. For fuck's sake. This is the most traumatic I've ever been at a theater. My seat, by the way, moving the whole time. Fucking air shooting at my legs. Water being sprayed in my face anytime somebody, like, heads explode or something. I'm sitting there just, like, ready to cry. Traumatized. And I turn to my friend and go, I have to have yearly MRIs. I don't. And by the way, one of my first MRIs ever was in a child-size MRI because I had to see a specialist at the time who was in it taking at a child's hospital, who at the time wasn't taking adults, and she had to have an MRI done of me. So it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. I have a very rare disease that's more common in children. It didn't manifest till I was in my 30s. There's only like 3 specialists at that time in the world. One was that I had to go see. There was a child's doctor, so I had to fit in a child size MRI as an adult, and I am a plump little lady, and that was not fun. So, yeah, yeah, 40x, 40x. By the way, I didn't eat. I grabbed some sour gummies because I'm learning that if you have sour gummies when you have like anxiety or panic attacks, it tends to kind of like recenter you. By the way, FY, it works for me. I don't know if it'll work for everyone else, but didn't even eat those. I'm sitting there just like the whole time. Like, why did I do this? You know what? I did it to myself. I set the super checkle. Why did I do it myself? Why did I even want to go see this movie? I'm desensitized to most horror movies too, as well. Being a former special effects makeup artist, I know all the gadgets and gurus that goes into stuff, but it's something about these movies, and maybe it's the concept of death, or maybe the fact that the first two, again, a little over the top, but not so much so that it couldn't realistically happen to you. Like, realistically, you could fall into your dishwasher with knives sticking up, right? Realistically, you could have a bus smash into you, kind of thing. Realistically, something from behind while you're driving could fall, like from a bed of a truck, could like impale your window and stuff. So I think it's just my brain can't turn it off with these movies. So that's, yeah. I know. First one started off as an X-Files episode. Seeing Martyrs, I can do. I don't know why. It's Final Destination. I cannot do. All right, so Bobby and Eric are gone. All right, by the time. So Darlene, who's repairing her relationship with her kids, if you really cared, and Stephanie and Charlie decide the safest place they could go is Iris's cabin. And boy, oh boy, I hope they have a picture of this, because the ridiculousness of this fucking cabin. Oh, I forgot. Because I think I didn't talk about it. It's because it was in the trailer. It was a clip that was released. Howard died by a lawnmower. I think if you've seen the trailer, you've seen this clip where somebody's jumping on a trampoline, and what happened, and it's the ice in the glass in the ice, and then it gets spilled on the floor, and then Howard steps on it, and then he falls back, and then his lawnmower starts, and it destroys his face, kind of deal. So yeah, oh, this is a good photo. Oh, why did I stop sharing? This is like the whole franchise. So again, it was Death working through the survivors of like the 1950s issue, hadn't gone all the way through their descendants who shouldn't be here too. So all you have to do in the movie is steering when 15 degrees right, screaming, crying, stay straight, perfectly normal. Irreversible is a horror movie. I would agree. My issue with these films, I think most would agree, no matter what you do, there's no way to survive. So what's the freaking point? Yeah, it's just a creative way of having death on your door, basically. It's just to remind you, like, hey, don't drive behind a log thing. Okay, where is it? I hope they have a picture of it. If they don't, oh, here's a good one. So you can kind of see around this isolated cabin is like a bunch of this stuff and like flammables and stuff. Here's old Iris who's about to step out to give her granddaughter the book, and Death is about to impale her from the back of the head. So it's not a very, obviously, I think you could look at this movie as a story about generational trauma throughout it, trying to break the cycles of it. Okay, so Darlene and Charlie head to Iris's cabin, which, by the way, explodes within the first few minutes of them getting there. And Darlene dies by one of these poles, like falling on her after she saves her son. Charlie decides to this stuff's in the RV. It's flipped over, and she's in this water right here. So she's about to drown, and her seatbelt won't pop up. So Charlie goes in to save her sister, able to pull his sister away. His sister drowns for a second, and he's able to bring her back to life. So again, they think, okay, Steph died, she came back, she broke the cycle. But we all know, if you're a Final Destination fan, that's not how it works. It just restarts over again, right? So that how the old lady survived so long. She survived by literally living in her cabin and having it just so, like, she was able to tell when Death was messing with her and able to obscure it. The first second she steps out of her cabin, she dies. I don't understand the logic, but that's the logic of this franchise. 51 million, folks. 51 million. There will be a seventh one. 100% there's going to be a seventh one. So this movie ends, which I think is the best callback for, and mind you, again, I've only seen 1, 2. Hope they have it. Yes. Hold on 1 second. I will say this movie, I'm having like a little bit of a panic attack talking about this movie, looking at these pictures and stuff. I don't know why this movie bothers me so freaking much. Come on. I thought you guys had a photo of it. You didn't. Wait. So we'll go with this one. Okay. Fast forward at the end. Charlie's getting ready to go to prom. Okay. And the penny from the 1950s, I'm sure I have my era wrong. 1950s accident ended up falling out of the book that Iris gave Steph, and then ended up, I don't know why my camera's just like, maybe that's better. Is that better? No, it's not. The Bloodlines just makes it look like Death suck. Yeah, and you don't fuck with Death. Did you guys pick up on those that have seen it? You just don't fuck up with Death, and that's why Eric fucked with it. Because even though he was not part of the Bloodline, he was the one goner. No, that's how it works. She just didn't die. She was unconscious. Yes. So, thank you, Rachel. Fast forward, the penny that dropped out of the book that Iris gave Steph, which was the incident from 1950s, ends up with an old lady who picks it up, who ends up trying to buy lemonade, trying to give a kid change for the lemonade. The penny falls out, decides to go down a bunch of steps, and then somehow derails a train. Don't ask me how. Somehow derails a train. Charlie at this time is getting ready to go to prom. Steph is with him, about to see him off, and then all of a sudden, they have a discussion with one of the parents there, who's a doctor, and he goes, "Yeah, Charlie saved her, brought her back to death." And he goes, "Did you really? I mean, you were unconscious, but your heart didn't stop." And they are both bright eyes, and then all of a sudden, out of fucking nowhere, this train comes barreling through the neighborhood because it's off route. It's right behind the neighborhood, heading towards them, and it has logs on them. And then 2 logs fly off the train, killing both Steph and Charlie. All back to it. So, yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie. There's no survivors, because I did some research, and I guess the people who are involved with the franchise and said, like, no, whoever you think might have survived, no, death eventually does come for all of them. The death derailing is an old urban legend. Yeah. 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 So, moral of the story is you don't fuck with death. Oh, and in the hospital, by the way, Eric and Bobby are having a discussion because the one rule is, like, you can take a life, and then how much time that person has will be added to your tab, right? They're looking at a bunch of babies that were just born, alluding to, like, maybe. Final Destination really did say, "Oh, they say, fuck them kids." Whatever. I will say, as much as this movie stressed me out, I am very, very appreciative to all of you that super chatted for this experience. Don't take it wrong. As stressed out as I was about this, I still had a good time. I still did. Will I go back and watch the other ones? Probably not. Again, Recap and Chill. He has a great channel. He did a great recap of all the movies. If you want even just a refresher before you're going to go see that movie, do so. Would I recommend this in 4DX? Yes, and I think what I'm going to do is have a visual going forward of all movies I've seen in 4DX to see if the experience is worth it. Because I will say, so far I have seen Twisters, I've seen Deadpool and Wolverine, Thunderbolts, and Bloodlines. I am going to go see Mission Impossible in 4DX, and I'm kind of on the fence about Lilo and Stitch in 4DX, maybe. So, out of all those movies, the best one that I've had experience in the 4DX would have been Twisters. I'll be honest. I think it just enhanced the movie going experience for it. I mean, you get to feel like you're in a tornado. The second one was Deadpool and Wolverine, surprisingly. I think this is number 3 on the list. I think Thunderbolts, out of all the movies I've seen, was the weakest one in 4DX. That being said, is Bloodlines worth going to go see 4DX? I think so. It has the same appeal of, because I think one of them came out in 3D, if I remember. Kind of have that kind of same vibe where if things are thrown at the screen, your seat like jumps back, it dips and stuff. It doesn't just like move you up and down. Like, it legit feels like you're on a roller coaster watching a movie with it. So I will say I'm pretty traumatized for a while on this, but I am also going to go see Bring Her Back. Not this weekend. It's not opening. It's next weekend opening. And I heard that is probably one of the most saddest horror movies ever. So I'm sure that's going to get under my skin. But yeah, out of 10 overall, so giving overall the story and premise, I would say I'd give it a 5-6. Like, it's a decent movie, but it's so much so, I think, and I would recommend maybe seeing it in theaters with friends if you like this kind of stuff. There's not a lot of heart to the story. As most of the time with these movies, there's not a lot of heart to the story. The acting is fine. The visuals are fine. Some of it was a little. I don't like 3D blood. I don't like CGI blood, so that was a little much. If you do want to see Tony Todd's last appearance, that that might be a driver for you to go see. That was probably the most heartfelt moment out of the entire movie, and to be honest, out of all the movies I've seen, that's probably the most, like, realistically heartfelt moment in the franchise. It'll be sad to see him go. It's sad to see him go. It's sad to see him pass away too. I know he was sick for a while on it. I think it was cancer that eventually took him, which is sad. But yeah, the problem with most horror series is the villain becomes the star, which makes them boring. Hmm, interesting. Oh, Ballerina was another one I was thinking about seeing in 4DX. I'm very particular about the 4DX movies. I The reason I want to see Mission Impossible because I feel Mission Impossible would be kind of cool in the 4DX. And the 4DX looks very similar to the IMAX in screen quality. There might be just a slight difference for it, but like I wouldn't go see Bring Her Back in 4DX. I wouldn't go see. I might go see 28 Years Later. That might be a fun one to go see in 4DX. But this one, I will say, it had pretty good timing with being sprayed in the face, air shot in the ears, in the legs too. Oh man, rocking you and stuff. Sinners getting re-released. I'm not surprised because of how much money it made. I'm curious to see when it'll be re-released because there's a bunch of movies coming out. Yeah. Uncle Howard. I will say, the coolest death segments of this would have probably been, I'm gonna say it again. Fuck this movie. The MRI was pretty gruesome. The opening segment, it's alright. Watching a bunch of people like fall to their deaths being impaled and stuff like that. That was alright. I did like the log callback because, like most millennials, I don't drive behind something that's sticking out of somebody's bed truck or something. Uh, this is weird. Oh, I don't like it when they put the filters on and stuff. That's weird. So we used to get a couple of films like Sinners Day every year. Yeah, yeah. What is coming out next? Let's check it out. But all in all, I had a good time. But fuck this movie. That's the best I can say. What do we got coming out next? I'm so sad. I was going to go see the Scream Unseen. If you still have time, guys, and an AFC near you, Scream Unseen, which is you won't know what it is. It's a horror movie, and I think it's Bring Her Back. So it might be an early showing of Bring Her Back, which would be cool. Let's see what's coming down the pipeline. So next weekend will be Bring Her Back. But what is this coming weekend? I think it's just Final Destination. I refuse to go see Hurry Up tomorrow. I think the weekend doesn't know how to act. So that's Mission Impossible and Lilo and Stitch are the big openers for this coming weekend. For Memorial Weekend. And then Bring Her Back, which if you guys don't know what Bring Her Back is, it is the sophomore film for the directors of Talk to Me. All early reviews look promising. The common denominator amongst all of the reviews is don't eat during this movie. Take it with what you got, right? There is a couple TV series that I want to cover coming down the pipeline too. Hell Motel, which is going to be releasing in June. That looks interesting. I think that would be US Death Note. Oh, listen, I might lose you as a subscriber right now, but I think Death Note overall as an anime is overrated. Sorry, not sorry. Welcome to Nadia's hot take. So, yeah, that's all I got, guys. On it, go see it with a friend, but not one that has anxiety like me about these movies. I think I walked out of the theater and I had to like have a moment for myself. Well, my friend went to go use the restroom, and I did record like a right out of the theater, but it was mostly like I couldn't speak. I don't know why these movies affect me this bad. You know, everybody has their Achilles heels on movies, right? There's sometimes visuals. Like I know when people become parents, certain like deaths of kids in movies really affect people and stuff. I don't know what it is about these movies. I just get a thorn in my side, and I just don't like them. Not my cup of tea. So tomorrow, again, just a reminder, 1 year celebration to the channel. We're going to be talking about Welcome to Derry. We're going to be, I've got a really cool game I put together. Cool game I think I put together. We're going to have some super chat tiers. I think it's tier 1 will be $100. I'll be raffling off a $25 AMC or Regal gift card, your choice. 200 will be a $50 gift card, and 300 will be a $75 gift card for you to enjoy a summer movie on me. We'll be raffling off if we hit those tiers. And then we're back with normal schedule with Last of Us on Thursday, and we're back with Stranger Things Season 3 on Friday. If you guys stick around in the chat, I'm going to chat just for a little bit longer, and then you guys will be redirected over to Plot Strikes Back. They are covering Dread 2012 over there. Please, if you haven't subscribed to Nick's channel over there, please do so. The man should be at 500 already. He's a great guy, and every Monday he is covering Masculine Mondays, where he's talking about masculinity and the movies that influences that, or vice versa. So please go check that out. I will be on a couple of those coming up. I think it's like The Patriot I'll be on, and some other movies and such. So I do see movies, so I'm on that. And yeah, does anybody have anything interesting they're going to be seeing? Either show of hands, how many of you guys are going to go see either Mission Impossible or Lilo and Stitch this weekend? I'm just curious. I know this is a horror channel, but I'm just curious. I'm seeing Mission Impossible. Honestly, this channel is kind of is forming into whatever Naughty sees, kind of. So horror with an asterisk with ads on kind of deal. I definitely am seeing Mission Impossible. I will say, the one downfall to the 4DX theater out here, because I'm assuming Lilo and Stitch is going to be occupying it, they're only doing one showing for the 4DX for Mission Impossible, which is, oh, nice. I like Mission Impossible movies. Pretty much all of them I can dig with it. I like the last one. I know a lot of people didn't. I think they're just fun action movies that you get to go watch Tom Cruise until he's 100 years old running across something. I'll probably be waiting, but if I had to pick Mission Impossible, okay. This is the one show that I wanted to cover once Last of Us is done that I might do. Let me pull it up. Here we go. So the Last of Us, once it's done, I think I'll probably go back to just that Thursday being a recap of what I've watched throughout the week or something, or if there's a show that but Shudder checks into Hell Motel, an all limited series from slasher creator Aaron Martin and Ian Carpenter, premiering Tuesday, June 17th. It looks interesting to me. Where was the premise? I think it is. Hold on one second, guys. That's not giving me any. And that's not pulling up the right one. Motel 2025. Nope, that's it. Okay. Wow, their IMDb has not been filled up very well. What is my storyline here, guys? Recurrent Wilder takes on the role of Hemingway, a chef with wickedly sinister flair, is joined by fellow motel guest Paige, a former Scream Queen actress looking to revive her career that seemingly left her behind. Crow, a new age medium. Oh, so it's like a bunch of apparent connection with massacre victims. Blake, a true crime writer, himself a survivor in a mass killing. Talented artist. Oh, so it's a bunch of like weird characters kind of derived together. I'm intrigued by it. Is there, let me see if we've got already a Last of Us already. I know Last of Us is really. They're talking about that it's supposed to get a season. They want a season 4 to completely tell the story. Motherfuckers, what are you talking about as season 4? I don't even think I think they're gonna revoke your season 3, let alone season 4. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, here we go. Hell Motel. Let's check this out. Let's see what this is about.
We'd like a room for the night. A honeymoon suite.
You know that I've been traveling through the night. Baby, I can't.
Intrigued. I like Shudder originals.
Welcome, everyone. Each one of you is a VIP of the true crime scene.
Please strap in.
We deliver total access to the most famous murder site in history.
The Cold River Slaughter. And you give us the right to use whatever comes up for promotional purposes.
Typical influencer engagement contract.
Hello, selfie.
All the best for it.
This is coming off as a bunch of influencers show up, and I guess
Takes place in
somebody
isolation.
takes them off.
Evil Dead, Cabin in the Woods, The Shining.
I did hear about the lawsuit about Together. I'm hoping to cover that tomorrow.
Do you think the original murderer has come back?
Maybe we have a copycat.
Thank you so much for the invite, but I want to check out.
Crazy murders like these, they never stop at just one.
He or she will strike again. Who do you think it's going to be?
The bigger question is why.
Ooh, I have a better question. Who do you want it to be?
We all have a killer hiding within us.
I'm intrigued enough to start it to see, so that might be what we'll be covering, or at least I'll be covering on Thursdays once The Last of Us is over. I do actually want to do a rewatch of Buffy, and I was thinking of somehow incorporating that with X-Files or doing Buffy just for members only. Sorry, guys. Just for members only, just to give members something. Maybe a once a month or twice a month stream where we break down a couple episodes of Buffy. I haven't seen Buffy since it aired. And last night I was watching Coffee and Cult's video on the behind the scenes drama that happened with it. And it just kind of lit it up that I haven't seen Buffy since it's aired. So I'd be curious to see if it holds up for me. So that is what I'm intrigued to see. Horror related games interest me more. I want to play more horror related games on this channel. I'm trying to revamp things a little bit, so bear with me, guys. It's a learning curve for me. Saturdays and Sundays I'm trying to keep clear to do movies and family time and see stuff, so I'm trying to see where I can fit things in. Once we get through The Last of Us, Thursdays will open up, so I'm kind of brainstorming what to kind of slip into there, either something like the Hell Motel or maybe something in a sense that will cover Buffy or new movies or something to that. I kind of like streaming one-offs on Mondays, but this would be one-offs in a sense like I saw a movie on Sunday to talk about it on Monday. That way it wouldn't occupy most of the time on the Horror Tuesday show. So bear with me. I appreciate all of you on this journey with me. Again, remember, tomorrow, please tune in for the celebration. It should be a good time. I'm very... Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Hawk. Thank you. I tried very hard. At it. Thank you again, guys. Again, you're going to be redirected over to Nick's channel. Please stay around for that. That should be a great discussion. And until tomorrow, you all know what to do. Stay spooky.